Alright y'all, we're back in the woods for some late season deer hunting. I'm carrying my 30-06 today, shooting 150 grain Core-Lokt tipped ammo. And everything I'm running is set up for cold weather, longer sits, and tougher shots. Late season is when your gear really has to work together. Rifle, ammo, optics, all of it. Conditions are harder, deer are smarter, and patience matters more than ever. We stayed patient, waited for the right opportunity, and when it finally came together, this deer went down right in its tracks in this episode of the Rakestraw Boyz.
I know I'm really far away, but I wanted y'all to see the gun. Before I go hunting, I want to talk about it because there's something new that's on top of it that you haven't seen before. But what you have seen before, let's go ahead and cover it. I have been shooting with the 30-06 and I have been hunting with it all year and it's done me very, very well. I've got it indoors. As you can tell, there's nothing in the magazine. I will discharge the bolt real quick. There's nothing inside the bolt. Now, let's get down to brass tacks. The rifle itself, let's just start at the stock. The stock is painted, and I did the paint job myself, okay? I used sponges. I used a couple of different kind of camo colors to go ahead and paint this joker, so that's how it turned out, okay? That's pretty much all there is to it. The trigger, I've adjusted the trigger on it. It was about a 5 to 6 pound trigger. This is off the Savage Axis XP. So, I mean, out of the box, it's like 5 pounds. It's a pretty stiff trigger. So we've adjusted it now to where it's like 3 pounds or so. So a lot easier to work with, especially during the shooting videos that we do. I really like the mag. It is just as simple as it can get, very, very easily made. You could tell that this was just made for function. It's not made for anything flashy. It's just a mag, okay? The bolt, as I have used this Savage Axis XP, it has gotten better. When I first bought it, that bolt right there, it is a 90-degree bolt throw. It was pretty rough, and it hung up. The sliding in and out of the bolt itself is not necessarily the bad part. I'll let you listen to it. I'll hush up a second so that you can hear the slide on it. Up, down. I mean, it probably could use a little bit of, it works, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It could probably use some oiling, but it works. And I think that's pretty much all you can ask for from a Savage Axis is because when you buy it, you buy pure functionality. You don't get a whole lot of bells and whistles, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, this gun shoots better than a lot of guns that have a lot more bells and whistles on it, and I'm not mad about that. So anyway, I'm gonna put the mag back in just real quick. I just want to show y'all there wasn't nothing in it. Now, the thing that's new is this EZshoot 5x25 by 56 scope. Well, the best way that I know to try out this scope is to take it real world hunting. I'm gonna put it to use. If you're gonna send me something, let's put it to use and see how it works. But before we talk about how it works, let's go over just some of the basic specs real quick, okay? The magnification is 5x25. It's got a 0 stop on it. It comes with a illuminated reticle. It is a first focal plane scope, which means as you zoom it in on 25, that focal plane, the reticle itself actually increases in size. It's not really something that I have a preference for. I don't really shoot far enough for it to be a problem. If I was making a shot at 1,000 yards, I'd probably want a second focal plane scope. But again, this is a budget offering on a budget rifle, okay? I'm just giving you the deets about what this right here does for my rifle. In low light conditions, this holds on to light a whole lot more than a lot of the other scopes that I've done. The scope that I had on it originally was the Bushnell 3x9x40, and the Bushnell really, it did its job, and I was able to do it, but in direct sunlight, that thing blurred up pretty good. This right here does fairly well in direct sunlight, and it does well in low light conditions too, especially with that illuminated reticle, which I'll get to here in a second. It does have an MOA Christmas tree style reticle on it. Turrets, it comes with its own turrets. It's even got EZshoot turrets. Here's the issue that I came up with putting this on my rifle, and I want you guys to be aware of it too, so that if you decide to purchase this item, that you understand what may be coming with it. This right here, I had to get a Picatinny style rail for my gun for this to fit on top of it. It didn't fit the stock Savage rails. So I had to go get a separate Weaver style Picatinny rail for this to actually fit on my rifle. I just want to tell you guys that's for a little bit of a heads up just in case you did decide to swap over to this. It's got a parallax adjuster on the left side. It's got a windage adjustment on the right. It is in MOA. This is not a mil-dot scope, so one click is 1/4 MOA. If you're not an MOA person, this is probably not your gun, but if you don't care like me, this is still perfectly viable. It's got a 34 millimeter diameter tube, which is this right here. So if you don't want to necessarily use the scope mounts that it come with, 34 millimeter is the number to remember. Accessory wise, there's not a whole lot of fluff that they sent with it, because they're trying to cut down and put what quality that needs to be done by the money that you purchased into what matters. But accessory wise, they did give you a couple things. They gave you some cap covers, okay? The only thing that I personally, this is just me. This is not me telling y'all this, but the only thing personally I don't necessarily like about it is the cap covers. Mostly because here's what I've run across. I'll be sitting in the blind in the woods, and I'll get my phone out, for example, and I'll take my phone out of my hand out of the pocket rather to get my phone. Well, in the motion of taking my hand out of my pocket to get my phone, my elbow could catch this, and it makes this noise in a quiet deer woods. That's the only thing I don't like about it. They're a little noisy because that spring-loaded action right there. You catch that spring in the blind, that's what you're going to hear in the blind. No matter what, that's not quiet for a hunter. That's just a little, I'm being real nitpicky with that, though. I'm being very nitpicky. And to be honest with you, if I'd be still in the blind, I wouldn't have that problem. Okay, that's how my nitpicky I'm trying to be right here, okay? Comes with a battery for the illuminated reticle, which I will show y'all where the battery goes. I'm not going to show you how to install it, but the battery goes right here on the parallax. Okay, so the battery is right in there. It comes with a battery for the illuminated reticle. Comes with a sunshade. I don't have the sunshade with me, otherwise I'd have it on the gun. Sunshade would make it about that much longer. It also comes with that if you were to purchase this as well. So yeah, that is the scope that EZshoot has sent to me. I've made sure to drive very, very roughly on the side-by-side to make sure that this thing still holds 0. As to my calculations right now, this thing's still holding 0. And I've done everything that I can do within my power other than abusing the scope itself to try to make sure that that 0's been knocked off. As of right now, it has not been. I like this scope, and this is my personal opinions about it before I go into the woods with it. The main thing about the scope is that I like the fact that I can now dial at distance. I went ahead and made a chart for my 30-06, a dope chart, and I'm going to test it out as I go along. Right now, I've got a hunter 0 on it, so if I see something at 300 yards, I'm just going to hold high and shoot. But one of these days, I'd like to take this gun out and stretch it out, and this scope is going to allow me to do that. So for that, I'm thankful for EZshoot for sending it too. Oh, and I also forgot to mention that they did send the throw lever with it too. I put it on there just for... I like throw levers. They're fine. They're fine. That's my setup that I'm going to be taking. I'm also going to be firing a 150 grain Core-Lokt tip. Thank you, Remington, for sending us those as well. I've been using them all season. They've been laying the deer out every time I've used them. So 30-06 Savage Axis XP, EZshoot 5x25x56. I'm still learning that number. And 150 grain Remington Core-Lokt tip. That's the setup. Now, enough of me sitting here rambling about my technology and my equipment. Let's get into the woods and watch how it does in the real world. It's deer time. Let's get them. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all what the actual target for today is before I go out into the woods. I know that you guys have seen my equipment and everything. I'm bucked out for the year, so the only thing I can do is kill does. So guess what? For the remainder of the season, it's going to be me trying to fill freezers, which there's nothing wrong with filling a freezer. My favorite meat is deer meat, and the only way to get deer meat is to get in the woods and go get your deer meat. So let's go get it. Well, boys, we're adjusting. We're about to go hit the woods. Let's go see if it works in this combo. Mean to alarm you, but that's the wrong species. Yep. Justin said we're not going to shoot the first thing we see this afternoon. He's got a side mission of trying to kill a big buck, so
before I pop a doe. He may drop a buck. So we're gonna give him the opportunity too while we're out here. Y'all can see them, these dogs will follow us the entire way in. We're trying to hunt. People can't keep their dogs on their own property. Justin's got to calm me down, but I tell you what, dogs in a hunt, if you're not a dog hunter and just someone's random person's dogs come up and just sit in your lap, it legitimately makes me angry. Keep your dogs on a leash. We're in the same place that Justin shot his cold buck that last video. Austin got him one while we was out here hunting. He's hunting the other field. It's pretty.
Big old head on it.
Come on, my lady.
Austin back calling it.
Don't make me laugh while I'm doing this, man. Way to go, Austin. The quest continues, though. See you on the next try. It is the next day. We decided to go sit on some public land. We're set up on a WMA food plot. And the food plot that I'm looking at right now goes about 200 yards. So we're gonna sit here and see if something crosses over. There may be a lot of shooting in the background because we got some duck hunting going on the WMA too. It's a cold morning, so the deer should be moving. The key and the crux to it is, if we're on the deer, we don't know. We decided to make a move. The place we was hunting, the guy started shooting like a 9mm. Shot maybe. It just sounded like he wasn't hunting. It just sounded like he was just stirring up crap. And it wasn't 300-400 yards from us. There's been duck hunters down there too. So we decided to get out of there and go back north. Well, we ain't heard no gunshots. We know there's another deer hunter in the power lines we was going to hunt this morning, but he was already there. So we're making a trip back up here. There's some more power lines up there here that are actually cut like this, where you can actually see. So we're going to look at that, unless something else piques our interest. There you go. That's the plan. We've got the power line set. We can see all the way down to. Problem is where he's setting up, he's cutting off his vision. That'll work just fine. We're not gonna move enough to do anything. So we're gonna set up here on this pole, that way we can see all the way down. We busted out. We didn't see anything. We saw a scrape earlier this morning, so we're going to recollect our thoughts and try again this afternoon somewhere else.
Private land.
Yeah.
It's public lands for the birds.
Up here anyway.
In Mississippi anyway. Don't get me wrong, there's some spots where people kill good deer on public.
Just not here. So I'm back on private land, which is good. And these deer have been daylighting in the afternoon. There was a couple times last week that they walked out in front of the camera. Of course, the camera's been dead, so I don't actually know what's going on right now. That's all right. So either way, I gotta go hunting here anyway because I gotta put those camera batteries back in the camera. Hopefully they're still back here because it's been been 3 or 4 days since I've got a photo because like I said, you did. So I'm gonna set up, head on in there. I got my camera batteries with me. And we're just gonna sit down, and if something brown comes out and it's big enough to look like a deer, it's probably gonna be shot today. So let's get after it. Now the hunt begins. Here's the general idea. There is a massive storm brewing tomorrow. It's going to come in overnight, and we're expected to get 2 inches of ice. A lot of people have mentioned the ice storm of 1994, and they're saying it's going to be worse than that. So for hunting, I'm hoping what that means is that the deer are going to move in the daylight in the afternoon. Because this stuff is supposed to be rolling in. It's supposed to be rolling in quick. So, we'll see. Well, there's gonna be no tracking job. She's down. Finally, right before the winter storm, drop a deer in its tracks. There's no tracking job. It's dead. There it is, boys. Task completed. Meat in the freezer. Activate. Deer down. I'm so thankful, y'all. Y'all have no idea. Well, let's get it skinned up, get in the freezer, do what I need to do with it. I'm so glad that I had some success though, man. Right before the ice storm, that's some more meat for the freezer that we can eat. What a blessing, what a blessing. Okay guys, so I'm gonna keep it nice, simple, short, sweet for the end here. First of all, I wanna say thank you to EZshoot. I put this thing through the ringer, and I will tell you guys, this thing is still on 0 after hunting for an entire month. of hunts. You probably did or didn't get to see all of the recorded hunts that I actually did, mostly because this is the first antlerless deer that I came across. Anyway, dog started barking, but that's fine. Needless to say, scope got it done. 30-06, I knew we'd get it done too. The Remington Core-Lokt tip, 150 grain bullets, dropped it in its tracks. And this is not a small deer. By no means, this is not a small deer. I'm pretty satisfied with the equipment that I used in this hunt, and I'm also pretty satisfied with the hunt itself. If you like the equipment that I use and you want to test it out for yourself, or if you want to check them out, feel free to check the link in the description. Go check it out for yourselves. Go get you one. It's a nice budget scope for the price. I don't know this for sure. It depends on what comes out after this video. But this could very well be the last video of deer season for this 25-26 deer season. So this would be probably the last kill that I get for this year. So I just want to say that it has been an incredible year for hunting. This has been the best year I've ever had. So I have nothing to say other than just I'm grateful for the deer. Speaking of being grateful, guys, we got a snowstorm literally tonight. And I'm grateful that I've got this meat that I can go back and I could definitely eat off of while this ice storm is happening. So that's also something else I can be grateful for. Anyway, we're also grateful for you guys for watching this video. If you've made it all the way to the end, first of all, thanks. Leave a like. Also, if this is the first time that I've seen you, it's nice to meet you. If it's not the first time that I've seen you, it's nice to see y'all again. Y'all, it's real cold and I'm going to have to hurry up and I'm going to let this deer hang overnight. But before I get to the dirty stuff, I'm just going to go ahead and let you guys know. The Rakestraw Boyz, for now, we gone.